Hey, welcome back to The Messier, the Better. Becca Mueller, licensed marriage and family therapist. Today, I wanted to explain a little bit about why this podcast is out there and where the title The Messier, the Better came from. Somebody asked me as a therapist, what's your niche when it comes to working with clients? A lot of times, if you talk to business strategists, they want you as you start forming your strategy for forming a private practice, they want you to choose your ideal client. And I struggled at defining my ideal client because, quite honestly, that's more about me than it is about my client. And I love variety. I love working with all ages. I love working with all topics and dynamics. And I thought, I don't want to be pigeonholed into a niche where I only work with teens, or I only work with women, or I only work with men, or I only work with trauma or abuse or anxiety, depression. I just thought I wanted to work with messy. And the more I work with clients, the more I am drawn to the messier. Because I believe the messier you are, the better you will become. The messier means that things are just bubbling up and out of control, and things are spilling out, and you can't shove them back into a drawer, and you're faced at a crossroads. What am I going to do with my mess? And the messier it becomes, the more you can't ignore that. And the more you have to face what is. And I love that. I love clients who come to me who are saying, I am messy. And I say, I get it. Tell me more about your mess. Because when our mess is known, it doesn't seem so overwhelming. And when somebody's in the mess with us, it actually makes it less. That's an incredible thing about therapy. The messier, the better. The messier you can't ignore, but you will get better. The messier you can no longer hide. It's about time we look at it and actually deal with it. The messier is your past, the better is the future. The messier is what you're changing, the better is what you're turning to. This is all about hope. It's all about looking at what is. And as you look at what is and how it became to be, now we can look forward into what you want and what you are striving for in your future and what you design your future to be. I'm so excited to be here. I love this format. I am willing to walk into the mess with you and to really look at these messy situations that we as humans encounter. Not only do we encounter, maybe by choice, maybe not by choice, but we encounter it and then we take it with us. And the more we don't deal, the more we're just dragging that mess behind us. I had somebody once describe it as carrying my baggage. And then that person looked at me and said, it's not just my baggage. I have a U-Haul. And I have a U-Haul full of mess. And then I've got a couple of storage units full of mess. And I have an old dilapidated house full of mess. And I said, let's get going. Let's do this. You've got to find a therapist who's willing to look at the mess. You've got to look for a therapist who is absolutely not going to be afraid of the mess. A therapist who's willing to look at every piece of that mess if you want to and start saying, what is the purpose of this? Why are we keeping this around? Let's get rid of it. Or let's put in the goodwill pile. Or let's recycle it. What good can we take from it? How does this show your strength? How does this shape your life in good ways and in bad ways? How can we challenge the bad? How can we use it to grow from? That's the exciting part of therapy. But it's so hard when you're sitting in your own mess to actually believe that something different can be. It's so hard because you're overwhelmed by the mess. A lot of people say, like, I'm in a mess, but I don't know where to begin. Absolutely. That makes sense to me. It's like if you give a mouse a cookie, if you've ever read that childhood book, if you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to want a glass of milk. And if he wants a glass of milk, he's going to want a straw. And the story continues until finally, in the end, he says, I just want a cookie. I just wanted a cookie. So when you sit in your mess, it's going to feel a bit like if I tug this, something else pops up. And if I tug that, then something else pops up. And we're going to feel like a little chaotic in the beginning. But what you're going to realize is that all those different roads of chaos actually lead to probably 3 or 4 roots. And those 3 or 4 roots, when we actually look at them, can be framed in a way that makes you make sense. And then if you make sense now we are able to determine how you want to grow from that and where you want to go. If you're willing to grow, you will go, period. If you're not willing to grow, then just sit in the mess a little bit longer. There's no harm, no foul. Sit in the mess a little longer. You'll get to the point where the mess starts to bother you so much that you will be compelled to do something different. My hope is that that different will include therapy. My hope is that different will include you living a more healthy life. My hope is that it's not going to include other unhealthy patterns, behaviors, choices that don't do you any service and don't really honor who you are. So this podcast is designed to really look at the mess and not be afraid of the topics that are super messy. Not be afraid of trauma, not be afraid of PTSD, not be afraid of childhood wounds, not be afraid to say the things that really you are thinking and feeling, most importantly. And as we look at this across the board in humanity, my hope is that it brings you to a new point of truth and honesty within yourself. And then it propels you and compels you to move forward. That is my hope for this. That is why I'm here. That's why I sit with clients every week. That's why I love to do what I do. This is what I've done in my own life. This is what I've done with hundreds of other people. And I'm so thrilled that you're choosing to be here to give me the moments. And just so you know, I'm in this. I'm in this with you. I'm in this to 100% just be a beacon of hope outside the mess because it will get better. Whatever better is, and I don't know how you would define better, but it will get better. You will get better. In fact, you already are. Thanks for being here. Like and subscribe. Can't wait to see you in the next episode. I am so thrilled. That pause was longer than normal. I was like, I'm going to say this again. I'm so thrilled. Thank you. Thank you.